Vader's relationship with the 501st Legion was forged in fire and battle, a bond rooted in loyalty, fear, and shared purpose. Under the Republic, the 501st had been an elite unit of clone troopers, renowned for their skill and unwavering commitment to victory. They had fought alongside Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars, following him into some of the most dangerous missions across the galaxy. When the Republic fell and the Empire rose, the transformation of Anakin into Darth Vader did not dissolve this connection. Instead, it evolved. The 501st became an extension of Vader's will, a force that would enact the darkest commands of the Empire with ruthless efficiency. As the Emperor's enforcer, Vader demanded absolute obedience, and the 501st complied without question. The loyalty of the Legion was not merely out of duty, but also out of respect for the commander they had fought beside during the war. Despite the shift from Republic to Empire, many of the clone troopers still saw Anakin Skywalker in Vader. They knew his tactical brilliance and his capacity for both mercy and brutality. However, they quickly learned that Vader's mercy was a rare commodity, and his standards were higher than ever. Under Vader's command, failure was not an option. The 501st earned the moniker Vader's Fist, following their pivotal role in the Empire's consolidation of power. They were instrumental in the storming of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, a grim mission that signaled the end of the Jedi Order. Clad in their distinctive blue-accented armor, the Legion swept through the sacred halls of the temple, cutting down Jedi of all ranks, from masters to Padawans. This mission, codenamed Operation Nightfall, was one of the first tests of their loyalty under Vader's direct command. For the clones, this was a somber task. They were executing comrades in arms who had once fought by their side. But for Vader, it was a step toward erasing his past and solidifying his future as the Emperor's apprentice. Over time, the ranks of the 501st began to shift. The original clone troopers, who had aged rapidly due to their accelerated growth, were gradually replaced by stormtroopers recruited from across the galaxy. Despite this, the ethos of the Legion remained intact. Those who served in the 501st knew they were part of an elite unit, one that operated under the direct authority of Darth Vader. They were often dispatched on missions of critical importance, including quelling uprisings, eliminating rebel cells, and securing valuable resources for the Empire. In each of these tasks, they demonstrated a level of precision and discipline that made them a fearsome presence on any battlefield. Vader's relationship with the 501st was not solely built on commands and obedience. There was an unspoken understanding between the Dark Lord and his Legion. Vader, for all his ruthlessness, understood the value of his troops. He was not the type of commander to recklessly throw away lives for no purpose. When he led the 501st into battle, he did so from the front lines, wielding his crimson blade with devastating power. His presence on the battlefield was a morale boost for his soldiers, who knew that with Vader in command, victory was almost assured. Yet this relationship was also marked by fear. Vader's temper was infamous, and failure was often met with severe consequences. Stories spread among the troops of officers who dared to question his orders or failed to meet his expectations, only to meet a swift and deadly end. This fear served as a motivator, ensuring that the Legion operated with maximum efficiency. It also reinforced the hierarchical structure of the Empire, where Vader's authority was absolute and unquestionable. In addition to their regular duties, the 501st was often tasked with secret missions that required utmost discretion. These missions were known only to the highest echelons of the Empire, and typically involved objectives that would have far-reaching implications for the stability of Imperial rule. One such mission was the retrieval of ancient Sith artifacts. Vader, in his quest to delve deeper into the dark side of the Force, often sent the 501st to remote and dangerous worlds to recover relics of great power. These missions were perilous, involving hostile environments, ancient traps, and often encounters with rogue Force users or cults that worship the dark side. The 501st also played a crucial role in suppressing knowledge of the Jedi and their legacy. They hunted down survivors of Order 66, erasing all traces of the Jedi from the galaxy. This included destroying holocrons, burning archives, and ensuring that no stories of Jedi heroism would inspire rebellion against the Empire. Vader personally oversaw many of these operations, using the 501st as both a hammer and a scalpel to dismantle the remnants of the Jedi Order. One particularly harrowing mission took place on the planet Jabium. A former stronghold of the Jedi during the Clone Wars, Jabium had become a haven for dissidents and surviving Jedi in the aftermath of Order 66. Vader and the 501st were dispatched to crush the resistance and eliminate the Jedi presence. The campaign was brutal, marked by relentless assaults and devastating losses on both sides. The 501st, despite their superior training and equipment, faced fierce resistance from the Jabiumite rebels, who were fighting for their home and their freedom. The battle culminated in a confrontation between Vader and a Jedi Master who had taken refuge on the planet. The duel was fierce, but ultimately, Vader emerged victorious, and the remaining rebels were either captured or exterminated. This mission exemplified the dual nature of the 501st's operations. On one hand, they were soldiers, executing military campaigns to expand and secure the Empire's control. On the other, they were instruments of the Sith, carrying out missions that served the darker ambitions of their master. For the men of the 501st, these missions often blurred the lines between right and wrong, heroism and villainy. But under Vader's command, there was no room for doubt. Their purpose was clear: to ensure the absolute dominance of the Empire, no matter the cost. The relationship between Vader and the 501st was not static, it evolved over time, influenced by the changing dynamics of the Empire and the personal journey of Vader himself. As the rebellion against the Empire grew stronger, the 501st found themselves increasingly at the forefront of the conflict. They were deployed to crush insurrections on planets such as Lothal, Ryloth, and Kashyyyk. In each campaign, they demonstrated the same unyielding resolve that had defined them since the days of the Republic. However, the growing threat of the Rebel Alliance brought new challenges and exposed cracks in the Empire's seemingly invincible facade. Despite their fearsome reputation, the 501st were not invincible. They suffered losses, and with each defeat, the Empire's grip on the galaxy weakened. For Vader, these losses were both a tactical setback and a personal failure. The 501st was a reflection of his own power and authority. Their successes were his triumphs, and their failures were a stain on his legacy. This connection only deepened his determination to crush the rebellion and restore order to the galaxy. Within the ranks of the 501st, there was a sense of pride in serving under Vader. They were acutely aware of their unique position within the Imperial military structure. They were not just another legion of stormtroopers, they were Vader's fist, entrusted with the most critical and dangerous missions. This pride drove them to excel, to prove themselves worthy of the trust placed in them by the Dark Lord. It also fostered a sense of camaraderie among the troops, a bond that was strengthened by the shared hardships and triumphs of their service. For all his fearsome reputation, Vader was not a leader who inspired loyalty through terror alone. Those who served under him respected his strength, his tactical acumen, and his unwavering commitment to the Empire. They knew that Vader would not ask of them anything he was not willing to do himself. He led by example, often placing himself in the thick of battle, facing danger head-on. This willingness to fight alongside his men earned him a level of respect that few other Imperial commanders could claim. The secret missions of the 501st often revealed a side of the galaxy that few were privy to. They ventured into the unknown, encountering alien civilizations, ancient ruins, and dark mysteries that predated the Republic itself. These missions were fraught with danger, but they also offered glimpses into the vast and complex tapestry of the galaxy's history. For Vader, these missions were an opportunity to gain greater knowledge and power, to uncover the secrets of the dark side, and to secure the future of the Sith. Each mission, each battle, and each act of service further cemented the bond between Vader and the 501st. Together, they carved a path of destruction and domination across the galaxy, leaving an indelible mark on the history of the Empire. Their legacy was one of loyalty, fear, and unwavering commitment to the will of the Dark Lord. The 501st Legion was more than just a military unit, they were the embodiment of Vader's power, his fist clenched tightly around the throat of the galaxy. Their story is one of duty and darkness, a testament to the lengths the Empire would go to maintain its grip on power. And at the center of it all stood Darth Vader, the Dark Commander whose will shape the destiny of the 501st and the galaxy itself. As the Galactic Empire solidified its control over the galaxy, the 501st Legion remained a cornerstone of its military strength, particularly under Vader's leadership. Their secret missions, often shrouded in layers of classified directives, played a pivotal role in the Empire's agenda. These missions not only tested the loyalty and skill of the 501st, but also exposed the dark, hidden machinations that kept the Empire's grip unyielding. One of their most critical assignments involved the eradication of insurgent movements on remote planets. Unlike large-scale battles, these operations were covert, focusing on dismantling rebel leadership and infrastructure before they could gain momentum. Vader personally selected the 501st for these missions due to their proven ability to operate efficiently under extreme conditions. Their approach was methodical: infiltrate, identify key targets, and eliminate them with precision. This strategy minimized the risk of widespread rebellion while maximizing the impact of their operations. A particularly dangerous mission took the 501st to the desolate world of Arcanus. Intelligence reports suggested that a high-ranking rebel leader was using the planet as a base of operations. The mission required the Legion to navigate treacherous terrain and endure harsh environmental conditions while avoiding detection by local sympathizers. Vader's presence was felt throughout the operation, his tactical mind orchestrating every move. When the rebel leader was finally cornered, Vader confronted them personally. The ensuing battle was swift and decisive, with Vader emerging victorious. The 501st secured the base, ensuring that no trace of the rebellion remained. These missions also extended to rooting out potential threats from within the Empire. The Emperor was acutely aware of the dangers posed by ambitious individuals seeking to undermine his rule. Vader and the 501st were often tasked with eliminating these threats before they could materialize. Whether it was a Moff conspiring against Imperial leadership or a scientist attempting to defect with valuable research, the 501st operated with ruthless efficiency. These internal purges were vital to maintaining the stability and loyalty of the Empire's infrastructure. Vader's command over the 501st was not without its challenges. As the ranks of the Legion were gradually filled with non-clone stormtroopers, maintaining the same level of cohesion and discipline became increasingly difficult. The original clones, bred and trained for combat, had an unshakable loyalty and camaraderie that were hard to replicate. The new recruits, drawn from various backgrounds, brought a different dynamic to the unit. Vader recognized this and implemented rigorous training programs to ensure that the 501st remained the elite force it had always been. One of the most secretive operations undertaken by the 501st was the search for the surviving Jedi who had managed to escape Order 66. These missions were deeply personal for Vader, who saw the Jedi as a direct threat to his new identity and the Emperor's vision of the galaxy. The 501st scoured the galaxy, following the faintest traces of Jedi activity. When they located a target, Vader would often lead the assault personally. These confrontations were brutal, with Vader confronting his former comrades in combat, further severing his ties to his past as Anakin Skywalker. A particularly noteworthy mission involved tracking down a Jedi Knight who had taken refuge on the outer rim planet of Murkana. The Jedi had established a small following among the local population, teaching them to resist Imperial oppression. Vader and the 501st launched a full-scale assault, overwhelming the defenses with their superior firepower and tactics. The battle culminated in a one-on-one duel between Vader and the Jedi. Though the Jedi fought valiantly, they were ultimately no match for Vader's mastery of the dark side. With the Jedi's death, the 501st secured the planet, quelling any hope of rebellion. These missions, while successful, took a toll on the Legion. The psychological strain of constant warfare and the moral ambiguity of their actions weighed heavily on the soldiers. They were tasked with carrying out acts that many found deeply troubling, from executing unarmed prisoners to razing entire settlements. Vader, however, showed little concern for their mental state. His focus was solely on the mission and its successful completion. For those who faltered or questioned orders, there was no leniency. The consequences were swift and often fatal. Despite the harsh realities of serving under Vader, the 501st remained fiercely loyal. This loyalty was rooted not only in fear but also in a deep respect for Vader's leadership. He was a figure of immense power, capable of achieving what seemed impossible. His presence on the battlefield inspired confidence and fear in equal measure. The soldiers of the 501st knew that with Vader leading them, they were part of something far greater than themselves, a force that could shape the destiny of the galaxy. The secret missions of the 501st also served a darker purpose, advancing Vader's personal agenda. While they were officially carried out in service of the Empire, many of these operations were designed to further Vader's knowledge and mastery of the dark side. The 501st retrieved ancient Sith artifacts, destroyed temples of the light side, and captured individuals with unique Force sensitivities. These missions were shrouded in secrecy, with only a select few within the Empire aware of their true purpose. For Vader, they were a means to an end, a way to consolidate his power and ensure his place at the Emperor's side. One such mission took the 501st to the planet Dromund Kaas, a world steeped in Sith history. The objective was to recover an artifact believed to contain ancient Sith knowledge. The journey to the artifact's location was fraught with danger, including hostile wildlife and ancient Sith traps designed to deter intruders. When they finally reached the artifact, Vader claimed it for himself, using its power to deepen his connection to the dark side. The mission was a success, but the soldiers of the 501st could not shake the sense that they had participated in something far beyond their understanding. As the years passed, the 501st continued to serve as Vader's personal enforcers, carrying out his will with unwavering precision. Their reputation as an elite unit grew, and they became a symbol of the Empire's might. Yet within the ranks there was a growing awareness of the cost of their service. They had become instruments of destruction, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. For some, this realization led to doubt and regret. For others, it only strengthened their resolve, reaffirming their belief in the Empire's vision of order and control. Vader, for his part, remained an enigma to his troops. He was a figure of immense power and authority, but also one of mystery and isolation. Few dared to speak to him directly, and those who did often found his responses terse and intimidating. Yet, despite the fear he inspired, there was an unspoken understanding that he valued the 501st. They were his fist, his weapon, and his shield. Together, they would carry out the Emperor's will and ensure that the galaxy remained firmly under Imperial rule. The bond between Vader and the 501st Legion grew even stronger as the galaxy's unrest deepened. With each mission, their roles became more intertwined with Vader's personal quest for dominance and the Empire's brutal enforcement of order. Over time, their assignments began to touch upon the most secretive and morally ambiguous aspects of the Empire's operations, from clandestine experiments to outright war crimes, all in the name of maintaining control. One of the most chilling operations involved the Empire's growing reliance on bioweapons and experimental technologies. On the shadowed world of Tantus, hidden beneath layers of volcanic rock and stormy skies, Imperial scientists worked tirelessly to create weapons capable of subjugating entire planetary populations. The 501st was often tasked with ensuring the security of these facilities, eliminating any leaks and hunting down those who attempted to sabotage or expose the projects. During one such mission, Vader and the 501st were sent to secure a compromised laboratory where an experimental virus had been developed. The virus was designed to target only specific genetic markers, ensuring total extermination of a targeted species or group while leaving others unharmed. A rogue scientist, horrified by the implications, attempted to destroy the facility and leak the data to sympathetic rebel cells. The 501st arrived swiftly, locking down the site and neutralizing all resistance. Vader dealt with the scientist personally, interrogating them before delivering a swift execution. The data was secured, and the virus was preserved for further development. For the soldiers of the 501st, these missions highlighted the depths of the Empire's ruthlessness. While many were conditioned to follow orders without question, a lingering unease began to take root among some of the newer recruits. They had joined the Empire under the guise of bringing peace and security to the galaxy, but their actions increasingly painted them as agents of terror and oppression. Yet under Vader's command, dissent was unthinkable. His presence alone was enough to keep any doubts or fears buried deep. Beyond their military operations, the 501st also played a critical role in Vader's personal vendetta against the remnants of the Jedi Order. As more and more Jedi were hunted down and eliminated, the missions became increasingly perilous. The surviving Jedi were often those who had perfected the art of evasion and defense, making them formidable opponents even for an elite unit like the 501st. On the remote world of Korriban, a planet steeped in the dark side, Vader and his troops pursued a group of Jedi who had uncovered a hidden Sith tomb. This mission was fraught with danger, not only because of the Jedi but also due to the malevolent presence that permeated the ancient ruins. As the 501st advanced, they encountered deadly traps and illusions designed to protect the secrets of the Sith. The battle within the tomb was fierce, with both Jedi and Sith spirits challenging their resolve. Vader's overwhelming mastery of the dark side turned the tide, but not without heavy losses among his troops. By the end of the mission, the tomb was sealed, and the Jedi were no more. These encounters served as grim reminders of the galaxy's ancient and ongoing battle between light and dark. For Vader, they were opportunities to further sever his ties to his former life. Each Jedi he defeated was another step away from Anakin Skywalker, another affirmation of his allegiance to the dark side. For the 501st, these missions reinforced their identity as enforcers of the New Order, wielding the Dark Lord's authority in his relentless pursuit of power. The 501st's secret missions extended beyond combat and suppression. They were occasionally involved in Vader's efforts to manipulate galactic politics. On the forested moon of Endor, for instance, they conducted reconnaissance and tactical support for the construction of the second Death Star. These operations required not only military precision, but also an understanding of the local environment and its inhabitants. The moon's indigenous species, the Ewoks, were initially dismissed as primitive and inconsequential. However, the 501st quickly discovered their resourcefulness and guerrilla tactics, necessitating careful measures to avoid disruption of the Empire's plans. In other instances, the 501st acted as shadow operatives in dismantling organized crime syndicates that dared to challenge the Empire's authority. On Nar Shaddaa, the notorious smuggler's moon, the Legion was deployed to eliminate key figures in a growing cartel that had been supplying the Rebel Alliance with weapons. This mission required infiltration and precision strikes, demonstrating the versatility of the 501st beyond conventional warfare. Vader's leadership in these operations was marked by a calculated ruthlessness. He saw the criminal underworld as both a tool and a threat, one that could not be allowed to operate beyond his control. Throughout these missions, the 501st remained unwavering in their loyalty, though not without cost. The psychological toll of their service became more evident as the war dragged on. Soldiers who had once taken pride in their role as protectors of the galaxy now grappled with the horrors they had witnessed and perpetrated. For many, the only solace lay in the belief that their actions were necessary to preserve the greater good of the Empire. Vader's unyielding presence offered no comfort, but it did provide clarity. His singular focus and absolute confidence in the Empire's mission left no room for doubt. As the Rebel Alliance grew stronger and began achieving significant victories, the 501st found themselves facing increasingly desperate situations. The Battle of Hoth was one such moment, where the Legion played a central role in the assault on Echo Base. The mission showcased their unmatched discipline and effectiveness in hostile environments. Despite the rebels' extensive defenses and the harsh conditions of the icy planet, the 501st executed their assault with precision, forcing the rebels into retreat. Yet even in the face of such successes, cracks began to show in the Empire's facade of invincibility. The rebellion was no longer a scattered insurgency, but a formidable force capable of challenging Imperial dominance. For the 501st, this shift meant a change in their operational focus. They were no longer simply hunting down pockets of resistance, they were now engaged in a full-scale war for the fate of the galaxy. Vader's relationship with his Legion remained as vital as ever, but the stakes had risen to unprecedented levels. The destruction of the first Death Star had been a significant blow, one that Vader and the 501st sought to avenge with unrelenting force. The Legion became the tip of the spear in the Empire's campaign to crush the Rebel Alliance. They participated in countless missions, each one more dangerous than the last, as the Empire sought to regain its stranglehold on the galaxy. But with each battle, the rebels grew stronger, their resolve unshaken despite the might of the 501st. Vader's reliance on the 501st never wavered, even as he began to confront his own doubts and struggles. The missions they undertook together became not only battles for the Empire's survival, but also a reflection of Vader's internal conflict. For the soldiers of the 501st, serving under Vader was both a privilege and a burden. They were part of something monumental, shaping the course of galactic history. yet they also bore the weight of the Empire's most ruthless and secretive actions. In the end, the legacy of the 501st Legion was inseparable from that of Darth Vader. They were his fist, the enforcers of his will, and the executors of the Empire's darkest ambitions. Together, they left a trail of devastation and fear across the galaxy, a testament to the power and reach of the Sith. And though the galaxy would eventually rise against the Empire, the stories of Vader and his Legion would endure, etched into the annals of history as a reminder of the cost of tyranny and the unyielding nature of loyalty in the face of darkness.